Luis, building off your last outing in Texas and coming into tonight, when you're able to attack the zone the way you did, just how early on did you feel like you were going to be able to get into the groove that you did?
Y luego de tu entrada ya en Texas, viendo cómo atacas la zona hoy, ¿qué tanto o qué tan temprano te sentiste tú que ibas a entrar como ese ritmo que entraste hoy?
Bueno, solamente la mentalidad siempre positiva, de la mentalidad siempre de ir a atacar todo el bateador, el que venga a enfrentarse contra mí. Y eso fue lo que hicimos hoy, atacarlo lo más que pudiéramos y por eso tuvimos la victoria, gracias a Dios.
Yeah, just coming with that mentality, positive mentality, going up there and just battling with every batter that I faced. And I think that's exactly what I did today. Just battled against every batter that we did, and we were able to get those results today.
How much do you feel like you're getting better and stronger as the season's going on?
¿Qué tanto te has sentido que te hace sentido un poco más, la velocidad aumenta y te sientes un poco más fuerte como va avanzando la temporada?
Bueno, yo creo que lo dije en una entrevista anterior, de que yo soy una persona de que cuando va pasando la temporada, mientras va marchando, el cuerpo mío se va sintiendo mucho mejor, con más fuerza, y creo que están en el momento de que estoy cogiendo fuerza y marchando muy bien.
Yeah, I think I've said it in interviews before. I'm the type of guy that as the season goes along, I feel like my body becomes stronger and helps me a lot. And I think we're at a certain point in the season where, my body really feels good, and I think, my body feels pretty solid.
Luis, just you get that strike three to end the seventh inning, you spin around the mound. Just how would you describe that feeling, that emotion in that moment, and how much joy do you get being able to flash the fist pump right there?
Luis, el último strike en la séptima entrada, te das la vuelta para celebrar. ¿Qué sientes tú en ese momento cuando ya terminas una buena salida y no subes el brazo ahí para celebrar?
Bueno, los dos picheos anteriores traté de hacerlo. Primero tiré un cambio de velocidad que lo cogió perfectamente O'Neill Cruz, y después le tiré un slide que fue perfectamente. No sé por qué no lo hizo swing, porque fueron buenos picheos, pero en esos dos picheos se puede ver la mecánica que traté, como si le hace swing me iba a virar para atrás con el puñito, pero ya en 3-2 tuvimos que tirarle una recta en la línea de afuera y fue strike. Entonces con el puñito no como lo queríamos, pero lo hicimos.
I tried to do it in the last two pitches. You can probably tell a little bit, the first one with the changeup, he was able to pick it up right away. The slider, I felt like it was a perfect pitch. Didn't swing at it. But if you notice it, you can kind of tell in my mechanics. I was ready to throw that fist up, but we didn't get him in the first two pitches. And then all I had to do was throw the fastball towards him, and we able to got him, and we were able to celebrate with that fist bump.
You're thinking of it ahead of time. You're like, well, all right, this is the perfect moment to flash that and walk off. I mean, everyone gets excited to see the fist bump. Is that something you're thinking about ahead of time?
Ya los estaba pensando desde antes de lanzar el lanzamiento, sabiendo este es un lanzamiento bueno aquí.
Sí, ya lo tenía pensado. Ya, bueno, ya lo tengo en 2-3, déjame tirar el picheo perfecto para voltearme y sacar el puño. Pero fueron dos picheos perfectamente bien con 2 strikes y él lo cogió. Pero lo importante es que lo hicimos un poquito.
Yeah, of course, I know the situation with the 2 strikes. Here comes my perfect pitch, and I'm going to celebrate with the fist bump. But he was able to pick him up. It took us a little longer, but we were able to celebrate with it.
How does he pick his spots for when to do the fist pump? Because he obviously can't do it after every strikeout. Just what allows him to do, to pick his spots for when to really break it up?
¿Cómo eliges cuando celebras con el puño? Porque obviamente no lo puedes hacer con cada ponche. ¿Cuándo tú sientes que es el momento de celebrar así?
Bueno, dependiendo de la situación en el juego, cuando tenemos corredores en posición anotadora y podemos ponchar ese último bateador, podemos celebrarlo, y también cuando ya siento que tengo 90 y pico de picheo y el último bateador que me enfrento tengo la posibilidad de poncharlo, y ahí lo celebro también.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes you get runners in scoring position, and then you're able to strike out that last batter. You bust out the celebration. Also, when I know that I'm around 90, close to 100 pitches, and you're able to get that last strikeout to probably end the outing, that's when I bust it out.
Your velocity ticks up too in those, I think the last pitch was one of the fastest you threw all day. Do you picture that in your mind? Can you visualize before you even go out how you're going to put a final bow on your day? And is that something that you enjoy doing?
Tu velocidad también subió y creo que ese último lanzamiento que tiraste fue el más veloz que tiraste de la noche. ¿Tú lo estás pensando ya avanzadamente que el último picheo le vas a agregar ya todo, no agregarle un moño ahí para tu entrada de la noche?
Bueno, en esa situación, en ese inning ya, yo pensando que ya va a ser el último inning ya con 90 y pico de picheo, yo puse en mi mente, bueno, voy a tirar la recta 4 costuras lo más rápido que pueda. Y así sucedió y gracias a Dios fue de strike y pudimos dominar ese bateador.
Yeah, you kind of picture or the mentality that you're around 90 pitches. It's going to be your last inning for you. So I knew I'm going to throw this 4-seam fastball and I'm going to throw it as fast as I can. And luckily for us, it was a strike and we were able to get out of there.
It really seemed like anything you went to today, you were able to locate it really well and just generate the whiffs no matter which option you went to and what situation. Was this the best your arsenal or repertoire has kind of felt all around this season?
Parecía que todos los picheos que tú tenías hoy parece que los querías poner donde sea, donde los querías poner para que le hagan swing y fallen. ¿Crees que esta fue la mejor que te has sentido tu repertorio en lo que va la temporada?
Bueno, por ahora vamos progresando muy bien, me estoy sintiendo mucho más mejor, por eso tengo la facilidad de tirar el picheo donde yo quiera, a la velocidad que yo quiera, y yo creo que, como dije anteriormente, el cuerpo mío ahora mismo va cogiendo más fuerza y creo que por eso que la velocidad sube aumentando un poquito más.
Yeah, I think as the season progressing, I think, progressing pretty well, and I'm feeling pretty well, and I think that's why we're at the point of the season where I think I can kind of look at my pitches where I want them at the velocity that I kind of want, and, I think that we're at the point where you're kind of seeing, that the velocity is kind of ticking up a little bit as where we're at the moment.
I asked Dan the same thing, but this was a Pittsburgh team that had won 6 in a row before they played you. This has been 18 innings of shutout baseball. How proud are you of this entire pitching staff? You're able to do that so far.
Le pregunté a Dan la misma pregunta. Este es un equipo de Pittsburgh que habían ganado tenido 6 victorias rectas y no han podido anotar en estas últimas 18 innings. ¿Qué tan orgulloso no te sientes de este equipo, de lo que has hecho estos últimos 2 juegos?
Bueno, bastante orgulloso. El trabajo que hizo Wood en la noche pasada, el trabajo que hicimos hoy. Yo creo que lo que hay que seguir continuando, haciendo las cosas como lo estamos haciendo, porque nos está saliendo muy bien. Bueno, solamente seguir continuando, batallando cada día, cada juego, cada turno al bate, cada picheo. Yo creo que hay que batallarlo para que esto siga continuando así como lo estamos haciendo.
Yeah, very proud, especially what you look at what Wood did, the night before. I think this team is, going in the right direction. We should continue doing, what we keep doing it. But I think this team just has to go out there every pitch, face every batter, try to battle as much as they can and just continue to go, try to continue those scoreless innings.
Thanks, Luis.
Thanks, Luis.
Are you next?
Another really well-pitched ball game tonight. Boy, we talked about the Rock ahead of time, just how consistent he's been, how reliable he's been, and tonight, wow, that was exceptional. 7 scoreless. I think it was just the 2 hits. It seemed like he had everything going, pounding the strike zone, getting ahead, getting in good counts, and putting guys away. It was just phenomenal tonight. And then the bullpen took over after that. Matty Brash with a really nice inning, and then Mooney tonight looked really, really sharp as well. Picking up, I think it was his 20th save. So just a great night on the mound, and because of that, we just needed the one. I thought Rayleigh did a really nice job getting the runner over there in that situation. Polo picking up that leadoff double, Rayleigh getting him over, and then Ben with just an outstanding at bat. Taking that pitch to right center like he does so well to pick up the run, and that's all we needed tonight. But good defense behind our pitching again, you can't you almost forget Julio's catch out in center field early in the ball game.
just all around again tonight. In a night where there wasn't a lot of offense, our guys found a way to win, and pitching was phenomenal.
With Luis in particular, when he's getting ahead and attacking like he is, particularly early, can you get a sense that he's kind of on and he's on his
Yeah, I think this team was swinging too and putting the ball in play, but defensively we were able to handle it, and some low pitch counts early in the game got him deep pretty quickly. We were in the fourth inning, and his pitch count wasn't very high, so you knew that it was going to be a special night, and he just continued to attack. I thought he had all of his stuff working. His fastballs were great, and then excuse me, the secondaries were very good too. I thought he and Cal worked really well together tonight, and just mixed and matched, and didn't really allow them any kind of a threat.
And he's always been a workhorse throughout his career. But to finish the seventh inning, he flashed the fist. I mean, how much is that just trademark Luis?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last time out. We've seen it all year. We've seen it all year, but certainly last time out, picking up that extra inning in Texas for us tonight, comes out and gets 7 for us tonight. He is just, and that's what we've talked about beforehand, just so consistent. He's the guy you can turn to in those situations, and he is the rock for a reason. And when you're steady like that, and you have a firm foundation, it's nice to be able to rest on that. And tonight, he was that foundation for us, and gave our offense, just needed the one tonight, and that was it was just an impressive night on the mound for him.
So what is the feeling as a manager to have maybe a fresh Brash and then Munoz too, be able to go to them 8-9 like that's about as good as you can line it up?
Yeah, I mean, both those guys are really difficult at bats, and we saw that from them tonight, and to be able to go with those guys back to back. Was it's a luxury in a way, and tonight was it might have been one of the first few times where it felt like it was that Brash and then Mooney, coming off of a starter, that feels pretty good, and it lined up very, very well for us on the mound.
That was a team that had won 6 in a row before coming here, and you shut them out for 18 straight innings, the entire staff. How special is that part of it?
Yeah, 2 shutouts in a row. That's not easy to do, and like you mentioned, they were a team that was hot coming in, and our guys on the mound have been able to silence them so far, and tomorrow a chance to to sweep the series, and we need to continue to keep doing things that we do to win ball games. We got a tough customer in Skeens tomorrow, but it is an impressive job that our guys have done on the mound, and both starters and bullpen. These guys continue to throw the ball well and give us opportunities and chances to win late, and we've been able to do that. So, looking forward to another good game tomorrow.
With Ben, his last 10 games or so, he's cut the strikeouts way down. He's walking more. He had the barrel the other day, the big hit today. What are you seeing him make as far as adjustments?
Yeah, he's really locked in on that right center approach and has used it so well. And I think when you are in that kind of an approach, you stay on the ball so long, and it gives you a chance. And I think in a situation like that, he got a pitch 3-1 that he could drive and able to stay on it and drive it to right center. And I think, again, a guy who's just gaining experience, he's gaining confidence at the same time, and we've just seen some really good at-bats from him. He's starting to get real consistent, and what he has done at third base has been phenomenal. And so, he's just been very, very solid for us, really on both sides of the ball.
With him specifically, it feels like he's not afraid to go down in an 0-2. He takes that first pitch a lot of times. How important is that, or part of a strategy, or would you like to see him maybe be more aggressive on that first pitch?
I think you have to, you pick your times, but I think for the most part, he is a guy that, because of his approach, he's willing to be patient, and he's not, he's always going to be able to get you to right field if need be. But sometimes there are times where you need to let it fly on the first pitch. But what Ben has been able to do for us, and the learning that he has had, and the defense that he has had, it's been really, really good.
Had just the one run today, but you guys got traffic against them every single inning except for the 7th and the 8th. Just in a game like this where the margin of error is just so much more thin, how important was that to just keep the pressure on Burrows and the bullpen throughout?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways you got to tip your cap to their pitching staff too. Only 5 hits I think for us tonight. They pitched really well. I thought Burrows did a really nice job. We were able to get his pitch count up, but we had opportunities and we weren't able to cash in on a couple. He made some really good pitches when he had to, and then the bullpen came in and did the same thing. So, they pitched the ball very well too. I think just getting the one tonight that we needed, gave us enough momentum on our side, and the pitching just kind of took over from there.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.